Hey, South Florida leaders, it's James Shaw. Trust you're doing all right. And we're continuing these videos that we do from time to time just to help all of us really thrive in what we're in right now. I'm excited today to welcome Rick. Rick, you're the team leader in Melbourne, and we got to tell all the people what's been going on. In both July and August, Melbourne was #1 in the region in profit and profit share. And you're not the biggest market center in the region. This is a big deal. So first of all, congratulations to you. And just tell us what it's like to be #1 at least 2 months in a row.
First of all, James, for everybody that knows me from the regional meetings that we've been to, I just have to say Melbourne, because there was a time when it wasn't all roses and unicorns and rainbows. Yeah. So everything is going really well in Melbourne, and we're having a great time. We're having a great time. And I got this cool t-shirt that I get to wear too.
Well, tell us what's working. I mean, this is a really big deal. So tell us what's happening for you that's making it so successful, because you're #4 for the year in the region in profit share at $207,018. Your August profit share was $46,000. I mean, you guys are just absolutely crushing it. In July, your July profit share was $57,000. I mean, this is nothing to, just say whatever about. This is a big deal.
Well, it's interesting. In 2013, the profit share for the entire year, I think, was $33,000. And this market center actually was, there was discussion about closing it. And I moved to Florida in 2013, and I knew I had to join a Keller Williams office. This was the one that happened to be here, and I was like, oh, great! I have a market in distress, or a market center in distress. And then the team leader decided to quit. So there was a market center with no team leader, and I honestly became what I called the reluctant team leader. And Steve Tufts, the owner of the market center, said, "Hey man, I need somebody to do this." And he said, "You can and you should." And I knew that it needed leadership, and I really was reluctant about it. But and I knew that it was going to be a long road, and so got into it. And I mean, for those of you who are kind of seeing our success right now, just understand that this has been a 5-year process. And I have failed my way forward, to coin John Maxwell, for 5 years now, and I've done a ton of things wrong, but we've done a few things right. And so, I mean, to quote Bold, it's time on task over time. Is that a Bold law? I think that's a Bold law.
Well, it can be now. It's not one, and yet we're going to make it one.
Okay,
this has been a team effort, right? Stacy, your OP, your whole team. And I know you want to talk a little bit about your team and how they've helped you guys have some great success on this journey too.
Well, I wore this specifically because no one succeeds alone. And thank goodness, because we have, I've had great staff throughout. Wanda Appledorn has been, she was the MCA when I got here, and then she moved into agent services. Then she was director of career development. Now she's back to agent services. She is just the heart of the office in terms of loving agents into when they're onboarding and things like that. And Stephanie Stepp was our MCA after that. J.O. McDonald is the broker of our office, has been here, I think, the entire time this office has been in existence. So Wanda was here. Leonora Kryla is our new assistant team leader. Lauren Turner is our new MCA, and James Shirty is our tech ambassador. I think I got it right. And Stacy's the OP, my OP.
Yeah, and they're all doing a great job. So talk about what is it that you want the leaders in this region to hear when they're looking and going, hey, our profit isn't like this. Our recruiting isn't where it should be. I mean, because market centers we go through ups and downs, and you guys have been through them. And you've been the team leader there a long time and seen this journey happen. What advice would you want to give to our leadership as they're looking at their numbers and going, hey, we want to be like Melbourne?
So I actually was thinking about this since you asked me to do this interview, and I was like, what is the one thing, right? We've heard that before. What's the one thing that if I could impart something to the team leaders that are watching this? I think what we've done is we've created an environment. And we've created an environment that allows people to succeed. It allows people to fail and learn and move forward. And we just continue to communicate with the agents. I take to heart the writing notes, handwriting notes. I think, James, I remember I asked you for your home address so I could write you a handwritten note once upon a time. And so all of our agents get handwritten notes when they join us, and then periodically. But as I was thinking about, because you asked me, what are you doing that's causing the success? And I'm thinking, I don't know. And then when I really started thinking about it, it was just this, we have created this environment. We have the bell that you ring when you do a transaction, and we have some things that we do at the team rallies and things like that. But the underlying culture of cooperation is strong. And I think that's, you go back to Gary Keller and the MVVBP and implementing that. He was very purposeful about creating a culture in Keller Williams Realty International when he started it. I learned that from his Think Like a CEO podcast, was where the MVVBP came from. And that it was intentional before the company even started. And so when you take those and internalize those and then turn around and push them out to the people that you are in charge of, then they eventually, it just starts to sink into them as well. And I tell people all the time, because they'll say something about me being the boss. I'm like, I'm not the boss, and I'm not your manager. And I say this all the time, and sometimes they give me trouble for it. I say, listen, you pay my salary. Do you understand that? I work for you. Yeah. And therefore I have a responsibility to you and your success. And if you don't make money, I don't make money. And so let's go be successful together.
Love your attitude about it. Love your mindset about it. What I heard, Rick, is that you are really a student of the company. I mean, you've talked about the one thing, you've talked about the MVVBP and how you can create that sort of thing inside your market center. I've always said, look, the team leader doesn't need to know all the answers. They just need to know where to find them. And you know that by being a student of the company. So what advice would you give to people about just knowing about the tools that are available to them, knowing about MREA, knowing about different things? What advice would you give to our leadership about how to stay engaged in that?
Well, in all fairness, I will tell you, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And my staff will tell you that I am not a very good manager. And I will tell you that I was not hired to be a good manager. I'm just smart enough to bring people that are into my world. And what they hired me for was to instill the vision of Keller Williams in other people, and then to provide that to them. And so, as we move forward, that's my goal. Is to your question was to how do you internalize the Keller Williams systems? Gosh. Stay in it and read. I've read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book probably 10 times. I just reread the Millionaire Real Estate Investor only for the third time, I think. And Shift I just reread. So if you're going to do anything, put 30 minutes a day on your schedule and actually read one of the Keller Williams books. I mean, we've got the guy that actually literally wrote the book on real estate in our corner. Why would we not take advantage of that? Because if we don't know it, there's no way we can share it with other people. And I think I've internalized it to the point where I still failed at the test you did when you did your class, and that you asked us all the stuff about the MREA book. I failed that miserably. Well, but I probably failed it less bad than other people. Yeah, that's good. I've made it a point to be a student of the system I've chosen to work in.
Write that down. Write that down. You've made it a point to be a student of the system that you choose to work in. That's genius. Last thing I want to ask you about. Your MegaCamp numbers are really good. You got 25% of your market center as of this morning. It's September 9th. So you got 25% of your market center enrolled. That's not a surprise based on what you've told me. What advice would you share with people about MegaCamp engagement? Because that's a really important recruiting and retention tool right now. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I think what a lot of people need to understand, because here's what I'm hearing by the way, it's personal conversations. It's personal invitations to the people in your market center. It's not a text. It's not an email. It's not a video. It's calling people and saying, hey, man, I want to see you at MegaCamp. And so we're doing that. We started at the top and we're working our way down. Leonora, the assistant team leader, is working on the 80%. I'm working on the 20%. And we're making sure that they understand that that this is not a Zoom call, that this is not one-way communication coming from KWRI to us. This is interactive. And we're doing, just on the mastermind call yesterday, a couple of things that I learned was actually, we're going to have the main sessions are going to be in our training room with social distancing, of course. And so we're trying to make it as physically in-person interactive as possible, given the circumstances that we're all in. And just this morning, I had a conversation with one of our agents, and she's not planning on going, and based on some things that she had happen in the past on Zoom calls. And I said, this isn't a Zoom call, and I would love for you to go. And I think when you have that kind of a conversation with the conviction that we should have, because we should know what MegaCamp is all about, then you can bring people along with you. But it starts in your own heart.
Rick, I love it. I love your passion. I love your excitement. It's great to see what's happening in Melbourne. And it's, by the way, it's really easy to say I'm not the smartest person in the room when you're surrounded by literal rocket scientists, okay, in Melbourne. So that's a true story. You've got really smart people in your office. Congratulations to you and your entire team. I know this has been a process, and you're starting to see, well, you've been seeing fruits of that, and now you're seeing some big time fruits of that. Keep it going. I hear September is going to be great as well. Rick, thanks so much. Congratulations to you and everybody in your group.
James, I'm honored that you asked me. Thank you very much. And I hope that people watching got something of value from it.
You got it. Thanks.
All right, man. Have a good one.